Hi everyone, GeassTAS614 here, welcoming you to episode 6 of the final Life Abridged countdown. In this countdown, I am counting down the top 40 series that put out material between June and November of 2009. This episode will include series number 15 through 11, starting with series 15. khenpoe's Bleach. Episode 9 came out during this time. This show has just a very solid, grounding. The 8 episodes before, the Fergalicious spoof that kicked off the episode started it very strong, and just in general, the editing is very, very sharp in this series. In this top 15, we're getting into some stuff with really good production values. khenpoe's Bleach certainly is one of those. And Ichigo and Rukia are both done really well. They provide fantastic centers for this show, especially Ichigo. Just everything he says, it's said with the right timing, with the right feel of, having a funny show. So even if there's not a specific gag, everything's said in this very witty, snappy way, and you move quickly through the material, which you have to do for a comic show. So that's khenpoe's Bleach, episode 9. Show number 14 is FullmetalChao's Haruhi Suzumiya. Episodes 7 through 10 came out during this time. The voice gags of small side characters are a particularly fun part of this. I noticed a bunch of those in episode 8, I believe. Fantastic production values, some of the best stuff I've seen, especially with the music in the background incorporated very well, and little video editing things, flying around the screen that work pretty well. It doesn't bombard the show, it doesn't overwhelm it, but it's very clear that there's a very steady hand editing this, which is always a good thing to have. The Haruhi voice is amazing. It's one of the best individual performances out there, and it creates the atmosphere for all the snappy one-liners that are set up, just the ability for everything to just bounce off this crazy character in the middle. But in general, the snappy one-liners, that includes the voice gags from little off-screen characters, but obviously the main characters have them as well, really make this show what it is. It's crazy, it's fun, I want to see more of it. They also had, noticing here in my notes, a great send-up of the Christian Bale thing. A lot of people have been doing that, and I think it worked pretty well with that, adding a little meta touch to it. I thought worked out pretty well. They didn't overdo it, certainly not like the Family Guy Christian Bale send-up. And with that, show 13, that is Whip of Alchemy's Revolutionary Girl Utena, which put out episodes 4/5. That was a joint episode, in episode 6, which was a two-parter. This show's insane. Utena and Minami, I'm not sure if I've got that name right, on that other character, were both done really well. Episode 6 part 2 was in general pretty hilarious. I mean, I think that's from the original, but, they took this comic bit and, kept it pretty amusing. Kaiser as Toga, I believe, is really good, so there's a lot of really solid voice acting in there. For my money, I think that this is Megami 33's best voice work, is as Utena in this. I think it's really quite fantastic. The transitions in this show are hilariously abrupt, and it works out really well. It keeps things moving forward. That is the biggest thing about a Bridge series, is to keep it moving quickly, and the transitions really do that. They add in a little thing, they make you think, oh my god, that's hilarious, because it is. So that's Revolutionary Girl Utena for you. Show number 12. This is AlterScryed's Scryed, which put out episode 6 over this time period. The Christopher Walken character, I don't even know his name, I don't actually watch the original show, never ceases to amuse me. Every time I hear it, it's just fantastic. So the Christopher Walken guy, we need more of him, just like he needs more cowbell. And the ball jokes, they don't get old. They really don't. When I see the show, I want to hear Christopher Walken and ball jokes, and I get my Christopher Walken and ball jokes and it works. It just does. You know, there's a great just sense of irony in the whole thing, which I greatly appreciate. So yeah, Christopher Walken and ball jokes. You know, if you want to start with comedy, that's not a bad place. Not a bad place to go. And finally, show number 11. This is Geass, TAS, Code Geass, which put out episode 6 as well. A lot of episode 6 in this 6 is in this one. Full disclosure, I do play Yuffie in that show. I wasn't in episode 6, but just to get that out there. This was a really, really good episode. And I don't even think it's the best that the show has been, but just in my notes, I just kept finding stuff in this episode that was absolutely great. The Clovis cameo, I've always loved Clovis. I love Clovis in the original show. I love Clovis in the spoof. Big T does a great job as Clovis, so I was glad to see him cameo. It's no wonder they don't let him die. You know, the way that the student council interacts is just great. The shut up running gag. Lelouch and Suzaku are great, and Lelouch is it's interesting that that voicing succeeds. I think Rashomon does the voice of that, of Lelouch. It's an understated kind of voice. It's not as overtly, like, this is a silly voice kind of thing, but it really works for the character. You know, it's this smooth kind of voice that just fits the role, but doesn't sap it of its humor, and I think it comes off pretty well, especially bounced off of Suzaku. I think those two voices work really well together. Charles the Britannia has a great, you know, more overtly comedic voice, but also very fun. Oh my god, finally, Pizza Hut. There's more to the Pizza Hut thing than just Pizza Hut when the upshot of it was a Subway joke, which I thought was awesome, because, you know, people make fun of the Pizza Hut stuff all the time, but, and as I was watching it, I'm like, okay, this is a good joke about Pizza Hut, there, haha, Pizza Hut is in the show a lot, but then they, you know, updated it by adding at the end a punchline, which I wasn't really expecting, which was good to see. The actual Bandai, like, actual dub stuff, fantastic. You know, it just done very well. The episode does start stronger than it ends, but that's forgivable because the whole thing's pretty good. And there's a bit about Barney the dinosaur, which was nice. A lot of good off-screen voice gags in general from this crop of shows, but that's one of them. So there you go. When we come back, the top 10 best series to put out material between June and November of 2009. Hope you enjoyed it so far. The best stuff is yet to come.